So, welcome everyone to the Capstone defense of Mahnoosh Eslahi. Her Capstone supervisor is here today. His name is Dr. Alex Sévigny. He's professor in the Masters of Communications Management program. We have Dr. Terry Flynn as her second reader. He's director of the MCM program. My name is Josie Cassano Rizzuti. I am a sessional instructor in the MCM program. I am also a proud graduate, number 67 of the program. I teach financial communications management and am pleased to be here with you today as chair of the capstone presentation titled, Is Generative AI Influencing Visual UX Design Practices Within Digital Communication Contexts? Mahnoosh will begin with a 25-minute presentation. Following this, we will move into 2 rounds of questions. The first round will begin with her capstone supervisor, followed by the second reader. As chair, I may also pose a few questions. We will then proceed to a second round of questions from the committee. After the committee's questions, we will open the floor to the gallery for any questions, reflections, or words of encouragement. We encourage you to share your feelings with Mahnoosh after our committee questions. At the conclusion of the presentation and Q&A, we will place all guests into a breakout room while the committee deliberates. Please do stay with us and do not leave the session. We will bring you back shortly to celebrate the culmination of Mahnoosh's degree and capstone presentation and her journey with MCM. Mahnoosh, whenever you are ready, please begin.
Good morning, and thank you to everyone for attending my capstone defense today. I appreciate your time and the opportunity to present my research. Before I start my presentation, I would like to express my gratitude to MCM program, which has helped me gain extensive knowledge and significant insight. I am definitely not the same person I was 2.5 years ago. I would also to give a special thanks to my supervisor, Dr. Sévigny, and my second reader, Dr. Flynn, for their guidance and support throughout my study, as well as to my defense chair, Professor Cassino Rizzotti, for her support. Dr. Sévigny provided critical insight that helped advance my capstone research, while Dr. Flynn offered valuable guidance that shaped my MCM experience. Thank you. I would also like to thank my research participant and my second coder for dedicating their valuable time to this study. The title of my study is generative AI influencing visual UX design practices within digital communication context? UX design focuses on improving how users interact with and experience digital products, services, and brands. As AI technology evolves, generative AI is increasingly integrated into UX design workflows, generating design assets, layouts, and visual content. Visual design is a core component of the UX design, incorporating elements such as color, typography, imagery, layout, format, and iconography. These elements directly influence usability, accessibility, and first impressions. Digital communication environments, including websites, social media, blogs, podcasts, and video platforms, rely on this visual component to support multimodal communication that combine text, audio, video, and graphics. Garrett's UX frameworks illustrate the relationship between UX structure and visual design through 5 layers: strategy, scope, structure, skeleton, and surface. Visual design exists at the surface layer, where sensory and aesthetics elements shape user first interaction and perception of the product. UX design now extends beyond aesthetics and functionality to play a central role in interaction quality. user-centered design principles are closely connected to visual ergonomics, which improves how users perceive, process, and respond to visual information. Design principles such as visual hierarchy and contrast support comparison, navigation, and decision making in complex digital environments. This study is research question driven. Research question 1. How is generative AI transforming the visual UX design process within digital communication context? Next question. To what extent does generative AI enhance or diminish the perceived effectiveness of visual UX design in digital environment? And last question, how do professionals in communication and design fields perceive the impact of generative AI on human-centered principle in visual UX design? The literature review is organized into three key themes: visual UX design practice, the effectiveness of a visual UX design in digital environments, and the human-centered values in the use of generative AI. It examines how generative AI integrates into design workflows, including ideation, prototyping, testing, and design refinement. The review also explores how UX design effectiveness is perceived through usability, engagement, trust, satisfaction, and accessibility. Finally, it highlights the importance of ethics and professional judgment, focusing on transparency, accountability, bias, and the maintenance of a human-centered design principle when using AI. Theme 1. Workflow. Generative AI improves efficiency in ideation, prototyping, and UX writing by enabling rapid iteration and reducing the time and cost of design for workflows. Rather than replacing designers, it functions as a collaborative tool that enhances their capabilities and supports the creative process. UX design remains centered on human needs, cognition, and emotional experience, reinforcing the continued importance of human judgment in strategy, ethical consideration, and decision making. Despite these advantages, there remain a significant gap in the lack of clear frameworks that define how AI should be integrated and how it impacts UX design outcomes. The literature review is I'm sorry, did I? Okay. Theme 2. UX effectiveness is shaped by factors such as usability, aesthetics, engagement, and user trust. Visual design plays an important role in supporting compression and reducing cognitive load, helping users interact with products more effectively. Generative AI further supports this process by enabling rapid visual creation, personalization, and expanded opportunities for creative exploration, while also improving designers' productivity. However, their advancement also produce challenges, including the risk of bias, concerns around authenticity, and potential usability trade-off. Despite growing adoption, there is still a gap in holistic evaluation frameworks that connect AI-generated visuals with trust, accessibility, and overall UX quality. Theme 3. Human-centered values. Trust and ethical responsibility are critical to AI-supported UX design. While AI can automate many tasks and improve efficiency, it still requires human oversight. Human oversight and critical judgment to ensure responsible issue. Human empathy and contextual understanding remain essential for creating meaningful user experience that genuinely address user needs. However, the use of AI introduce risks such as algorithmic bias, limited transparency, and the potential for over reliance on automation. And there is also concern that digital system may prioritize engagement metrics over accuracy and user well-being. Despite this concern, there is still a lack of practical guidance on how to effectively embed ethical principles and human values into AI-driven design workflows. Let's talk about research methods. This study used methodological triangulation by combining primary and secondary data. Primary data includes 25 in-depth interviews, 30 to 60 minutes each, from 5 professional groups: UX design specialists, graphic designers, communication practitioners, and AI and machine learning experts and university professors. Because participants had multiple areas of expertise, categories overlap, leading to total exceeding 100%. Secondary data included a thematic content analysis of 15 existing sources, such as industry articles, interviews, and public multimedia content from senior leaders across multiple sectors. Additionally, 6 illustrative quotations from publicly available commentary by leading AI professionals were included to provide context and support for identified themes. A deductive coding approach using 3 main themes and 35 subcategories were applied to identify patterns in senior leaders' perspectives on the impact of generative AI on visual UX design. Coding was conducted by the primary researcher and independently reviewed by a second coder. Intercoder reliability testing using Cohen's kappa showed very high agreement, 94.3% agreement, and Cohen's kappa equal 0.92, indicating strong coding consistency. Descriptive frequency count supported patterns identification, and no inferential statics were used. Both datasets were analyzed using consistent thematic coding aligned with 3 research questions. The interview and extant document were compiled into separate corpus. Let's talk about the result. Interview finding research question 1. There is strong agreement that generative AI improves both the speed and efficiency of UX workflow. It helps automate time-intensive tasks such as wireframing, content adaptation, and early-stage visualization. This allows designers to prototype, iterate, and refine concepts much more quickly. However, perspectives on creativity are more mixed. On one hand, generative AI supports ideation and helps designers explore a wide range of the possibilities. On the other hand, its pattern-based outputs may sometimes limit originality. Because of this, human judgment remains critical, especially in defending problems, evaluating solutions, and making final design decisions. Rather than replacing designers, generative AI is shifting the role from primary creators to orchestrators and evaluators of AI-assisted work. The key benefits include faster production, expanded ideation, and reduced technical burden. However, there are important risks to consider, such as design homogenization, potential de-skilling, and ethical concerns. Overall, generative AI is reshaping UX practice by accelerating execution while making human oversight and critical thinking more important than ever. Interview finding regarding research question 2. Generative AI improves efficiency and reduces cost in the design process, particularly when used as a support tool rather than a replacement for human expertise. While these efficiency gains are valuable, they do not automatically translate into better UX outcomes. The findings suggest that AI has its strongest impact on usability and accessibility, especially through the reuse of established design patterns and standards. Its influence on user engagement appears more moderate, while more limited effects on user satisfaction and trust. However, AI often struggles to deliver the emotional depth and authenticity needed to create truly meaningful user experience. Without human oversight, there is also a risk of producing generic or overly template-driven designs. For this reason, AI is most effective when used to support consistency and best practices, while designers remain responsible for ensuring quality, strategic alignment, and user-centered design thinking. Overall, while generative AI strengthens usability and efficiency, meaningful UX outcomes continue to depend on human strategy, critical thinking, and ethical oversight. And finally, the last question, AI can support efficiency and scale empathy and ethical judgment are still widely viewed as human responsibilities rather than outputs that can be fully delegated to technology. There is also concern that reliance on a synthetic user or AI generated assumptions may weaken genuine empathy if they replace direct understanding of real users. Human designers therefore continue to play a critical role in creativity, strategic thinking, and decision making. Building trust in AI supported design also requires transparency and active human oversight to ensure outputs are accurate, fair, and appropriate. Ultimately, human-centered AI depends on maintaining human agency, critical evaluation, and clear automatically throughout the design accountability throughout the design process. However, important risks remain, including the potential for design homogenization, over automation, reduced accountability, and embedded bias. While generative AI can significantly accelerate the UX design process, achieving meaningful human-centered outcomes still depends on maintaining human control, ethical governance, and responsible design practices. Now talk about the content analysis results. Addressing research question 1. Generative AI is transforming UX workflows by automating routines, time-intensive tasks, allowing designers to focus more on higher level problem solving. It also enables more adaptive, context-aware design process that can respond more quickly to user needs and changing requirements. However, successful integration depends on maintaining human critical thinking and creativity throughout the design process. While efficiency gains are valuable, they should not come at the expense of core human-centered design principle that prioritize user needs, experience, and well-being. Research question 2. AI is improving visual UX by enhancing accessibility, enabling personalization, and strengthening usability. It also supports the development of more adaptive and responsive interfaces that better address diverse user needs and context. However, the effectiveness of this improvement still depends on human judgment and ethical oversight to ensure responsible and appropriate implementation. This also requires a continued commitment to inclusive design practices so that AI driven experiences remain accessible to a wide range of users. As a result, UX effectiveness must now be understood not only in terms of aesthetics and efficiency, but also in terms of meaning, relevance, and the trust user place in digital experience. And the last question, generative AI enhances UX by automating routine tasks and accelerating data analysis, improving efficiency across design process. Despite these benefits, human judgment, empathy, and ethical reasoning remain essential to ensure meaningful and responsible user experience. AI implementation should adhere to principles of trust, transparency, privacy, and inclusivity with active human oversight to prevent bias and potential harm. Rather than replacing designers, AI augments their work, supporting creativity and productivity. Strategic thinking, critical evaluation, and ethical decision making remain indispensable human skills for guiding AI driven design. Let's talk about the synthesis. Generative AI enhances efficiencies and speeds up design workflow, allowing for faster iteration and greater productivity. However, AI cannot replace the strategic, ethical, and human centered responsibilities that UX designers hold. Its integration is reshaping workflows and driving the evaluation of professional roles within UX. Despite these changes, effective UX design continues to depend on human judgment and the consistent application of a human-centered design principles. Let's talk about the convergence and divergence. Secondary research suggests that anticipatory AI personalization can enhance UX by predicting user needs. However, interviews highlight ethical concerns, particularly the risk of reducing empathy to mere prediction. Participants express caution about AI that relies on monitoring behavior or inferring intent. Key risks identified include diminished trust, weakening empathy, and prioritizing efficiency over user well being. Both research sources agree that generative AI improves efficiency and accelerating workflows, but they also emphasize the need for human oversight to uphold ethics, trust, and transparency. The central tension lies between achieving efficiency gains and preserving human centered UX value. In this discussion section, I created a diagram demonstrated three stages. Stage 1 is about generative AI capabilities and limitation. It rapidly generates variation, automates repetitive workflows, and enable fast idea exploration. However, it lacks a deep grasp of human-driven content, risk producing bias or misleading output, and has no ethical awareness. Stage 2 is about the designer response and practices. Designers more toward strategic thinking, prompt engineering, and AI assisted decision making. The focus is on human driven verification and balancing personal creativity with AI generation. And stage 3 is about design outcomes and human impact. It prioritizes trust, transparency, and inclusivity in final designs and emphasizes the designer's responsibility to mitigate bias and maintain accountability through critical reflection. The effectiveness this process depends on the context and the expertise of the practitioners. For example, UX designers versus AI experts. As a conclusion, generative AI increases efficiency and accelerated design workflows, enabling faster iteration and productivity. AI cannot replace the strategic, ethical, and human-centered responsibility of UX designers. The integration of AIs is reshaping workflows and contributing to the evolution of professional roles in the UX. Effective UX design continues to rely on human judgment and the application of a human-centered design principles. Conclusion for the research question 1. Generative AI impacts transforming visual UX design workflows through automation. The key benefit is faster design iteration and expanded access to design tools. Their efficiency gains is reduce repetitive production tasks, and the designer roles shift more focus on strategy, evolution, and ethical decision, and potentially risks design homogenization, de-scaling, and less critical reflection. And key takeaway is continued human oversight is essential. And for the research question 2, a best of use of generative AI, structured, rule-based, and repetitive design task. Its strengths is improves visual consistency, escapability, and usability. And its limitation cannot replace human judgment, context awareness, or brand decision. And the best practice is human review and refinement of AI output. And the key takeaway is strongest result come from human AI collaborations. And the last question, benefits AI accelerated design exploration and early ideation. Its capabilities support research synthesis and wireframing. Its risk, it may reduce time for reflection and empathy in design, and the human role is empathy, accessibility, deep user understanding remain human responsibility. And a key takeaway, balance AI efficiency with human-centered design practice. Now we have some practical consideration. Generative AI should support, not replace humans, enhancing efficiency while practitioners remain responsible for strategy, ethics, and quality. UX design and communication practitioners should conduct a structured review, develop skills in AI evaluation and prompt engineering, and follow ethical guidelines to mitigate bias and homogenization. Human-centered research, empathy, and reflective practices must be preserved while practitioners monitor design quality and diversity to maintain creativity and innovation. The floor is yours. Questions?
You're muted, Josie.
Yeah, I realized it. Oh, thank you, Mahnoosh, for a really great presentation. Very interesting, unique in its approach, and touching new and exciting topics. So thank you so much for your excellent presentation. I would now like to invite your Capstone supervisor to begin the first round of questions, Dr. Alex Sévigny.
Thank you, Professor Cassandra Rizzuti, and thank you, Mahnoosh, for this really insightful presentation. I mean, I want to start by saying what a pleasure it's been to work with you. You've put in so much time and so much effort into putting together a really polished capstone. Obviously, the people in the gallery haven't had a chance to read it, but it's really quite something. It's beautifully written. So congratulations on that, and thought through. I wanted to start with a methods question. So you know, you used it's a big topic that you were approaching, which is, you know, the intersection of creativity and artificial intelligence, which is my wheelhouse, as folks who are here know. and the world of design and fine art, right? Um, Design in particular in this study. So how did you go about constructing your method? A combination of interviews and content analysis. How did you choose? Because I know you didn't have time to get into all the details during the presentation, and it was very thoughtfully done. So maybe you could walk us through your thought process. Yeah.
Absolutely. The reason I pick up this topic, obviously, because of my background, it's in art and in design, and I would like to hear the voice of from the people who are have been working in industry. That's why I picked 25 number, like a 25 as my magic number to reach my 25 interviews, which luckily I did, but I had very difficulties to secure the interviews. And then my concentration to find the people are in the UX design practices, expert graphic design and communication and AI. So basically, I start through my emails, finding mostly through the LinkedIn, the people I don't know, never knew them before, and I received a lot of decline or a lot of ignorance, no responses basically. I reached over 100 people but I can tell easily that people who are working have been working in the corporation ignored me. And then even one person answered that I don't have time for these kind of things. But however, in the education sectors, I receive a lot a good feedbacks, so I started focusing on the university and colleges, and I use my connections, and they connect me to real people, and then I truly appreciate it through the recruiting, through the snowballings. And for my content analysis section, my plan originally was to find the people who are just the high rank and the high profile people in the AI and UX design field. However, the intersection was very difficult because I had two main criteria. The first, it has the articles has to be recent, because as you know, AI is evolving, and I got the Alex, you warned me that it has, because if I talk about something and in a few months they might not exist anymore, that AI platforms or the generation of that AI agent. So in this case, it had to be recent. My maximum date was like a 24, like a 2024. So, and then the intersection of the UX design expertise and AI is make my window is more narrower. So in this case, I use different type of the research methods, because my background regarding my work, my profession was a prospect researcher and research analyst. So I use different methods regarding like asterisks or and or, but I stopped at 15. I wanted to have more. So, but the people have to, the recent window, between 24 and 25, and has expertise on AI and a UX design, and a high profile people just made me just stop at 15. But I wanted to more. That's why I consulted with Alex, and then find it out that I can just find a quotation, we call it illustrative quotation. Find the quotation has at least one that matched to my thematic, three themes of my research, which I found it from the Sam Altman, and the rest of the six, which basically very related to the at least to one of my research questions or themes, which was very helpful. But I mean, that I, to be honest with you, it was this field. It's just kind of, it's not very documented. It's not, our articles is not very out there a lot. So yeah, I had
Yeah.
the difficulties
No,
next.
yeah, I think it worked out very nicely, and you thought through, and your solution to the challenge was well met, I think. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
My second question is to do with creativity, right? Because this is an industry that or this is a sector of the creative professions that creativity is of the essence. And congratulations on the beautiful illustrations that you made for on your deck. I think you made them yourself, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So you know, um, to me, that's the crux of the matter here. The AI can automate routine tasks. We've seen that. But what's your key takeaway on the concept of creativity from the point of view of an artist or a designer when it comes to using AI?
So basically, as I explained through my research presentation, it helps the ideation and it helps the iteration very well. However, the taste of the creativity, it's not coming out of the one engineering prompt, obviously. If you don't have the designer's skills, the result is going to be very generic and
Right.
it's not doesn't have the authenticity at all. I created this deck through the Adobe, and then it helped me because I had the idea of the having like a show the human centered. So I wanted to have like a human center. So I wanted to have a head, and then have like a coding for the computers or something that shows that the digital environment or communications. So I it was my idea and then use it like an engineering, but I used different kinds of the prompt to get these images. But imagine you don't have that idea, it's not gonna go anywhere. So I have seen a lot of generic uh, AI generated images on the LinkedIn or anywhere. You can tell by the as soon as you see it, oh, I have seen it before. I have seen it before. It's not does not have the originality. That's for sure. It needs your ideas.
That's it for me. I'll pass the baton over to Dr. Flynn.
Thank you.
I'm going to follow up on that point, but first I want to congratulate you,
Thank you.
and thank you for providing us with these insights as well.
Thank you.
Um, when we did our interview for this program in 2023, I don't think we talked about AI, did we?
No,
And
it was
I think
very
even during the course of the program, you really struggled to find your place because you are a different type of communicator. You're a visual communicator, right? You're not traditionally what
right.
most of the others have done that. And I remember having conversations back and forth about, what do I do? How do I do this, right? How do I fit myself in? But I really think you found your sweet spot here. I really
Yes,
like Mahnoosh. I think like this is your baby. This is your lane that you can really develop that expertise and thought leadership and really positionality within it. So I'm
thank
very, very happy for you.
thank you,
Um,
Alex. Very.
the images are unique. Let me tell you the deck. I felt like I was in the 1980s with the layout style. Are they trying to be retro or something? Like everybody else is using designed Canva, and you did this kind of old school PowerPoint deck.
Yes.
Well, is
This
that
is
what
the things I
everybody in the
learned at
design world
school.
uses? Like, are we going back to the 1980s in the design world now? We're not going to use these. We're not using the kind of opportunities to be able to create people that way. It was very good.
Thank you.
I'm also very happy that you had a second human coder and you actually had a intercoder reliability score. So I think the students in your cohort have sort of, everybody's like Terry always asks about that intercoder reliability stuff. Let's get that out of the way, and so he takes that away. So I want to go back to the question that you asked. So if these AI generated visuals meet the baseline of
Mhm.
professional expectations, right? And usability standards that clients are demanding, what specific communicative value does a human designer provide then to justify more cost, more time, and how do you demonstrate, in fact, divergence or distinctiveness? I mean, if the AI is getting that good, aren't people just going to use an efficiency model to say, yeah, I'd like to spend more time with it, but I got to get this out?
So this is the challenge when for the all UX designers when I interviewed people. So they said, yeah, yeah, sometimes we use the AI to because the client says I want it in 2 days. You have to provide me in 2 days, and then sometimes they have to provide it in 2 days, and then this is it, the delivery is just a very short time. However, the result is not going to be the same, definitely is not going to be the same if they have a specific requirement absolutely it doesn't meet at the end requirements, because user satisfaction and engagement and everything, it's very crucial for the user design and for the product, as we know all. So user experience, it's not only just the digital products, it could be anything, and it could be everything. So that you are just working with the IKEA products, or working on the platform, or on the website. Basically, when you consider all small things, it has to be just, consider everything, but it depends of the client. I interviewed one professor, and he says that even the expectation is coming down, because if they wanted to in 2 days, they said fine, I don't care, as long as in 2 days I wanted to be done. Even one of the interview I interviewed, he made me example of the Coca-Cola, that last year Coca-Cola used the AI for the Christmas
Mhm.
celebration, and they says comparing to this year, they deliver it anyways, but last year it has a lot of lack of the usability and engagement, and it was not great, but this year it improves a lot. So it depends of the client's expectation.
So, budget, efficiency. I mean, most the clients, in a rare case, the chief communication officer has significant design expertise, right? So, if budget, time, efficiency, um, are the driving force, where are your red lines? Like, how do you get them to turn around and say, hold on here? Like, is it the examples that you can use beforehand and say, oh, so here's what time and efficiency did, and that's the quality. But like, what's the main argument that you can give to other communicators to say, here's when we need to bypass the AI, we need to bypass these generative things to be able to really draw in the human experience.
So basically, the one of the things that I noticed that during my doing my studies, it depends on, as you mentioned, depends of the budget, definitely, and how big the organization is. For example, it's a good things for the small and non-profit organization, because they don't have the budget, they don't have the time, they don't have the human bodies to create the wonderful, at the end, products. But if there's a larger organization, ignore that thing, that we need to have the insights from the communicator, we need to have the insight from the engineering, we need to have the insight from the UX designers and graphic designers. That is just something that we have to just say, okay, it's not gonna work. But for the small organization, and then I interview one of the person, it was just one man show, he does everything at the same time, like branding, brand consistency, UX designs. For him, actually, it was great. For the larger organization, if you see something it's lacking, the best I got is just you lose your trust. You lose the trust on this organization. But the small organization, it's I think sometimes they have to. It's acceptable.
Okay, thanks. I'm good from now.
Thank you, Terry and Alex, for that first round. Mahnoosh, your visuals, and I'm absorbing as everyone is speaking, this beautiful one that we have in front of us right now. Beautiful, clean lines, and you describing it brought it to life for me a little bit more as well. So outstanding work in creativity with
Thank you.
this simple, easy to follow as well. The slides were so clear and really, really, really wonderful to see. So thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question, and it's about trust. And how do you see generative AI reshaping the balance between the efficiency and creativity? And I know you talked a lot about that in UX design over the next few years. What do you see coming? You have all this experience now with this data and these interviews. What do you see coming?
Uh, to be honest with you, Joyce, it was one of my questions on like a last question of my research question, and it was my favorite question when I asked it from the interviewees. So it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be big change. Definitely, it's going to be a big change. And then even one of the interviews that I interview, he says in a few years, in a few months, even we don't know the exact date, you were gonna sit back and the AI can do anything, everything for you. Even Sam Altman mentioned that. Um, so every single person has their own agent, and it's an own agent can do everything for you. So and then including the design things. But however, I proves that in my study that human oversight it has to be there. Like it cannot, like I mean, it cannot be ignored. The human sorry, my telephone is linked to my computer. So basically, the trust, as you mentioned, it's the main major impact on AI because otherwise, if you just leave everything for AI, people easily lose their trust. And then as we see that the videos that comes like AI generated, people they do not like it can basically do not take it seriously if there's a this misinformation, disinformation. But if human centered as a human judgment and human oversight needs to be there all even in the future.
Thank you. Over to the second round, back to Alex.
Thank you. I as I was reading this, I was struck by the critical and thoughtful quality of the lit review, right? It's something you didn't touch on too much in your presentation, but I want to give you a chance to speak to it because it's honestly it's so beautifully written. It's a mini masterpiece, you know.
Thank you.
Maybe you could speak to us about the lit review and how it grounded your study and sort of what you found through it, and maybe even the process of getting from a. Remember at the beginning we started with something that was it was a little bit far.
Yes,
It was wide ranging, right?
yes,
And
yes,
then now it's this really polished piece of work. How did you get there, and maybe what are the key findings from the literature?
yes. Basically, as we know, we started last June in Capstone's our program in but I mean I me and you explore a different version of the my topics, and then because I want something definitely related to design because of my background, so basically we changed the topics over and over to get to this because I wanted to have a digital communication as well because design it was not good enough for this program. So when we decided to have working on a visual UX design in digital communication, however, when I started with the literature review, like I mean, I couldn't find a lot, so I read a lot of articles and books that written, and I mention it because of your guidance. It has to be recent. It has to be recent because of the component of the AI. And then when I working on the this literature review, I was not thinking about the three themes. It was just to collect all information regarding the foundation of the UX design, the foundation of the AI, and the foundation of the design, our graphics and the visuals, and then all put it together as an essay, as the one I did it in the classes for the Terry's class or 7-11. So it's read as an essay, And then when I presented to you, we wanted to just, but it was not linked to my research question and it was not linked to my interview content. So in this case, you suggested me to put it as a three thematic to come to match to my research question. And the research question we defined the research question to find the themes that the first question talk about the workflows. The second question talk about effectiveness, and the third question talk about the human centered. So in this case, I put the whole literature together and find the keywords to just separate thematic three themes aligned with my three research questions. So basically, the whole thing's restructured from the beginning. So it takes me a while to find the keywords and separate the three themes to align with my three questions. So, and then I had to remove a lot of engagement and everything that didn't align with my three questions. So, but at the end, when I combine it together and then my content, especially for the interviews and the second part for the content analysis, they align very well together and they combine and then completing each other. And obviously, because of your guidance, because I created the three themes in the literature review as well. It was quite a journey. I learned a lot because, yeah, I learned a lot.
It's true, and you made 7 versions of it before you got to the final one, which
Very
is that's what it takes, right? It was you put in the work. I'll pass the question over to my colleague Dr. Flynn.
Okay, so now what? What are you going to do with this? What are you going to do to mobilize the knowledge that you've gathered from this and the fine research? How are you going to share this with both designers but also communicators?
To be honest with you, Terry, before I started the whole things, I shared to Alex that I want to do something with it. I'm not gonna just just write things and just go bye bye. I'm graduated. No, that's why every single piece I added with the guidance of the Alex in planning of the publishing this paper. This is my idol. If I have to just shrink it or summarize it, I will do that because I think it's meant a lot to me. And then, as you mentioned, it's my baby, and then I would love to publish it. It doesn't matter how it does it take to make it changes or summarize it or anything, but I would love to publish it. And if it any opportunities for me to present it, I will be more than happy to do that. In one of the interviews I did, he is one of the founder of the a UX design. He graduated maybe in 70s. He was just older man, and he's based in San Diego, in California. And he says, I will help you to just to publish it as well in US as well. So I am so looking forward to do something about it.
Yeah, you need to do something because it's a really, really fine piece of work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's all. I'm good. We're done.
All right. That ends the second round. Over to the gallery. If I'd like to open the floor for any questions, reflections, words of encouragement from the floor.
Hey, Mahnoosh,
Hi,
Suzanne
Suzanne.
here. Uh, I remember the very first day that we were um, in the program, and you were just like, what do I even do? I'm so excited to see that you got here from there. Well done. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. It meant a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Mahnoosh, old friend, like we've been long time together over the years. I'm so lucky to be here with you, and I enjoy
you.
it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and I see Don hand up.
It's Lauren.
It's Lauren. I wasn't sure, Lauren. Okay, there we go.
Hi, Mahnoosh. My name is Lauren and I'm from MCM 19. First, I just want to say, I think your presentation, your entire capstone was incredible.
Thank you.
How do you think this impacts accessible design in in like this kind of context? Because one of the things, you talk about, you need the designer to actually look at things. And we are seeing, as you said, a lot of content that's just being created with no thought to that. So when we think about the accessible design of these items, how do you think AI is impacting that?
So to be honest with you, AI can this is makes it accessibility easier. Everybody has the access to to AI. Even people that don't know anything about AI or anything about the design or elements of the design. AI make it accessible. But human oversight and creativity needs to be there to present the better idea and then outcomes. But accessibility is higher. Everybody now can create. Doesn't matter you have a taste or you are not a designer. This is a good thing about it. But the prompt engineering and basically having a taste and idea, it is a major factor. Does not make accessibility and accessible to the AI does not make you a designer. However, it is easier for people. For example, my current boss, I'm working in a nonprofit organization. She doesn't have a budget, but she creates everything on a Canva, and she's happy with it because it's accessible to her, and it's as a nonprofit. She gets a free membership and subscription through Canva, and she does everything like websites, newsletters, everything. But basically, that makes it which is good. But I mean, doesn't mean that she's a designer, or doesn't mean that the products she producing, it's a great product. I hope I answer your question.
You did. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. It's great to see students from the new cohort. All right, I am going to thank everyone and now place the gallery into a breakout room while the committee deliberates. Please stay, do not go away. We will be back very, very shortly.